Jack. As per our arranged agreement in our last email, today is performance review day. Are you ready? Okay, give me 1 second before we start. Hey, Mazakine. I'm getting ready to do Jack's performance review. We have officially concluded our business day, of course, but if anyone comes in looking for me, I will be unavailable until otherwise notified, okay? Excellent. I will, but I think we both know that he won't need it. Okay. Mazakine says good luck, by the way. Would you like to join me over here at my desk? Oh, Jack, it's like you're marching to your death. It's really not going to be that bad, I promise. Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to join me today at the end of our very busy workday for this performance review. I greatly appreciate the time. All right, this will primarily be a general summary of your performance, overall attitude, and demeanor as you have been under my employ for quite some time. Overall, any specific details will only be brought up on an as-needed basis. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. Starting with the basics. Your professionalism in regards to your appearance. You have received high marks on all accounts, as you are appropriately dressed for work at all times. You have immaculate hygiene in regards to your hair, your skin, your nails. You are constantly glowing and perfection. Fantastic, well-coiffed hair, well taken care of clothing. The only thing I would say that, and this is only a minor tweak, once in a while you do get kind of heavy-handed with your colognes and your hair products and your body scents, like your lotions and stuff. So maybe tone that down just once in a while, but again, very minor. Everything else has been fantastic, on point. Your attendance. Let me scoot down here. You are punctual to a fault, unless of course you have been delayed by traffic, which in itself is something of a rarity, so we're not going to mark you down for that one. Your time off is well documented, and you very rarely, if ever, take sick days. You don't actually take sick days. The only times where you've actually been out of work, Jack, is usually because it's been the result of some accidental shenanigans in which you have found yourself. So again, we are not going to dock you for that. And your break times during your work hours are respected, very carefully practiced. You don't take extra time, which I greatly appreciate. So perfection in that regard. Your overall attitude while here at work is positive and cheerful, even before you've had your morning coffee, which is, to be expected. So very much appreciated in that regard. You are helpful and thoughtful. You are quick to make me a soothing cup of tea after a particularly trying appointment, which, by the way, your tea making skills are perfection. They can be questioned by nobody, hands down. The only real bad point, not even that, you do occasionally get sidetracked by the Mortal News Network. But once I've made you aware of it, you quickly refocus and you get honed back in on your work, so I can't overall complain in that regard either. You are respectful of the souls transferring out of the infernal department, no matter how problematic they may have been for us in the past, which is great. And you are very tender-hearted and sympathetic to the souls that come down here who attempt to make the case that they should be transferred into the infernal department, when you and I both know that that is almost never going to be a thing. So your attention to those kinds of details are very much appreciated. Your communication skills overall, I will say you are an exceptionally good communicator. You are very articulate, except on the few occasions where you've gotten some words misunderstood or mixed up, but that happens to the best of us. Again, not a fault. It's just made for some very interesting conversations in the past, to be sure. You are very good at receiving feedback, and you are very quick to ask questions if you don't immediately understand the feedback that I give you, which I greatly appreciate. It helps to clear up a lot of misunderstandings, like right off the bat. So good on you. Good on you. The only tweak to any of your communication skills is actually more of your listening skills. Once in a grand while, you engage in conversation where you are listening to respond and not really listening to hear what's being said. Again, it's sometimes you speak to speak rather than speak to understand in regards to the conversation. Again, very minor and rare, super rare. So I'm not going to be taking any major points off of that in that regard. Your teamwork skills are exceptionally complementary to the job in which you have been hired to do. You are an incredibly fast learner. Training you took next to no time at all. I'm going to chalk some of that ironically up to the time you spent with Odin, and he kind of ground in a lot of the basic skills that you came to me with, which was great. But everything else since you've been here, you have picked up like a pro. It's rather remarkable, actually. You are supportive of me and my role without needing to excessively insert yourself in intense situations with problematic clients. In other words, you do an exceptional job of assisting me without usurping my authority. And that is key. You do that so incredibly well. I couldn't have possibly taught you that. So that natural ability, spot on, fantastic. And finally, you're an A1 superior yeeter. I have never worked with anybody ever who can send a client airborne with such grace and accuracy as you, and vigor. Sometimes we gotta rein it in a little bit once in a while, but for the most part, that skill set that you bring to the table is second to none. Overall, I am going to say that, Jackson, you are a priceless asset to the appeals office. You demonstrate exceptional grit and bring a bright attitude in all aspects of your work. Your work ethic is unmatched, and your presence in the appeals office brings a freshness to the environment that cannot be replicated. You are, and always will be, a joy to work with and a delight to the infernal department. With only the most minor of adjustments suggested for the future, you have scored and exceeded expectations on your performance review. Yes, my darling, yes. I'm just so blessed to have you as my personal assistant. I truly couldn't have asked for a better person to work with, and I greatly appreciate you. And I have it on good authority that our audience does too. So, I hope this put your mind at ease about how you've been doing here in my service. More often? No, Jack, we're only going to do this once a year, and that's probably pushing it, okay? Once a year, I stand firm on that. Okay, do you want to call Lucian? All right, well, since it's your hour, I will let you pick the place. Fantastic. 1 second. Mazakine, we're going out, girl. Get your purse.